Let me go across to Puneet, our colleague and our auto analyst who's speaking right now with Landmark Cars. He's joined by Araman Thakkar, the executive director at Group Landmark from that Mercedes showroom. Puneet, has there been a beeline of people after the GST cuts trying to buy a new luxury car?
Well, definitely. And, we are, as you rightly said, at the Mercedes showroom here in the western suburbs of Mumbai. From what we've gathered, for the last 1 week, there's been strong enthusiasm across the benchmarks. And to, just to talk a little bit more about this and to capture the GST rate cut benefit as well as the festive benefit as well, we're now being joined by Mr. Araman Thakkar. He's the executive director at Landmark Cars. Mr. Thakkar, pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us on NDTV Profit. One of the biggest, aspects for the auto industry has come in last week with the GST rate cuts from September 22nd. What has been the major jump that you've seen essentially in terms of inquiries as well as in terms of deliveries, if you can tell us, across, the brands that you operate in India?
Yeah, I think thank you once again for having me on your show. So as you rightly said, I think everyone was waiting for the GST rate cuts to come through. I think it was a fantastic move by the government to pass this through as well as simplify the GST rates across the board. So what we have seen since 22nd, approximately across the spectrum of brands that we represent, is that it has been a 30% increase in terms of inquiries as well as showroom footfalls. And in some brands, it is even higher. So that is something that we are seeing. In terms of the deliveries, I think those have kind of just started because before 22nd, due to the Shraddh as well as the waiting for the GST cuts to come through, the wholesale as well as retail was paused temporarily. All of that has just started post 22nd of September, and we expect it to continue in till October, till Diwali at least.
Well, the one advantage at Landmark is that you have brands like Mercedes, and I can see the shiny new car behind me, but you also have brands such as M&M and Kia as well at your onset. So within that, have you seen customers actually upgrading because of the GST rate cuts? A lot of cars which they were planning to take has actually gone cheaper. So do you see that consumers are actually going above the bracket of what their earlier choice was? Or do you see that a lot of consumers are just grabbing the opportunity now because of the rate cut?
It is, I would say, premiumization has been an increasing trend in India for the last couple of years. And the price corrections have been across the board. All IC engine cars have gotten cheaper post the GST rate cuts. So we are actually seeing customers who are on the fence take that leap and move up a segment as well. And people who are possibly just waiting for the cuts to come through have acted quickly and taken the decision in this festive period. And we do see that this premiumization is going to continue, and people are waiting to move up a segment or two. And I think these cuts have enabled that to happen at a faster pace.
The one question I had was on, the input tax credit, and that was a big issue for dealers as well. And, we spoke to a lot of them, and they were like still awaiting clarity from the government of what could be done about the input tax credit. What has been your experience with the communication gone to your dealers, as well as, if any, with Federation of, with FADA essentially at this particular point of time?
So we do believe that this was possibly an inadvertently miss by when the new policy was being rolled out. And as you rightly said, FADA as well as CM have put forth representation to the government for clarification on this point. And we do hope and expect that this will come through sooner rather than later. So I think that is something which will happen, and for the benefit of the entire industry.
The one key aspect also that we've seen is, essentially over the last year or so, you had multiple new showrooms launched across the country, across brands as well. Yeah. And a lot of them actually have gotten to the point where they are like 3 to 4 quarters in now. And that seems to be a very important for you, because then they start breaking even essentially. Could this be the year where we see Landmark Cars having a very strong expansion, at least in terms of margins, and if anything that you can guide investors as well who are watching NDTV Profit?
So you are right. So the last 2 years we had 40 new outlets come up. In the last year itself, we've added almost 25% of the organization. it takes around 3 to 4 quarters for new outlets to break even, and that is the pace that we have been seeing. Every quarter we have been giving the breakup of new as well as old outlet as they transition to the break-even point. And apart from, of course, the break which came in September, waiting for the cuts to come through, I think we are broadly on track to meet break-even for all our outlets by the timelines which we have guided for. What I will also say is that I think the GST cuts, apart from helping the customer, for Landmark as well, I believe the capacity has already been put in to benefit from this growth which we expect will last for a long time to come, and the industry expansion which will happen due to the move that the government has made.